Oh, Vincent.
Hello.
Hello.
So yes, I was looking at there seems to be some confusion as to whether Argentinian President Javier Milei has become a Jew or a Noahide. I don't think he became a Jew. I think he has Jewish heritage. Um, yes, he has Jewish heritage, but he's not actually Jewish. And where did you see this thing that he became a Noahide? Where did you see it on Twitter?
Well, for you posted something, didn't you, on
You said
your
I saw
blog?
that. You said I saw this already.
Oh, I heard somebody say that. I think probably somebody like Albert Bichet.
Yeah, well, Adam Green is the one that posted it that I saw, and then, but it was from a Jewish account. It was from some Jewish organization's account. It wasn't Adam Green just saying it. He was sharing it, and if this is true, they said that he said it before thousands of people and on camera and everything. So I'm waiting for all that to come out. But this is pretty big if it's true.
Well, nobody's going to believe it. I mean, nobody's going to, take it seriously. I mean, it's Rabbi Shmuley after all, right?
What do you mean, Rabbi Shmuley? He had something to do with it?
Yeah, I thought that was okay. That was the gist of it. Okay, let me go back to that. Your blog post, which has a link to that tweet.
Yeah.
And
it didn't say Rabbi Shmuley.
I thought you were saying Rabbi Shmuley was.
No, Rabbi Shmuley follows. I was trying to give it credibility. I wanted to make it look like it wasn't just some rando Jew account, because Chabad follows them and Shmuley follows them. I don't think it's some just like deranged Jew account. Well, the point is that it is a big. It is a big piece. It is a big piece of news if there's a world leader who's a Noahide. That's
Yes, I grant you that. Did Milei say anything about that himself?
I don't know. I've been looking for anything.
Okay. I guess he's on Twitter, so we can have a look at that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about that. I didn't go through his timeline though. Let's see if he says anything about being a Noahide in here. It does seem to be the only place that it's stated, but they said he gave it in like a big speech. It wasn't like he just gave it at a round table, which would have been enough.
Well, okay. I mean, let's assume it's all kind of kosher. Do you think it would make people, I do think people would believe it. That they'll just know it's some kind of another Jewish contrick, right?
Well, they're going to believe he's a real Noahide. I don't think he's lying.
Well, it's like, who gets to call? It's like, who said he's a righteous Gentile? Who gets to say he's a righteous Gentile? Some unrighteous Jew?
Well, who gets to say that a Muslim is a righteous Muslim? Nobody gets that right.
No. It doesn't matter. The question should be: is Islam a Noahide religion? And that's it.
And it's not. It's not. So we can leave that. We always get into this.
Sorry, who says it's not? Who says it's not?
If you have added or subtracted to Torah or added holidays,
no. Who says it's not? Who says
certain rabbis? Certain rabbis.
Yeah. So of course you're going to find certain rabbis who say over our dead bodies, and then you'll be able to find Toby Singer saying, yeah, it's Noahide. So who is right? There is no final authority to say,
Well,
Tobias, you're right or wrong.
if he's not breaking any of the 7 Noahide laws, then he's a righteous
No,
Gentile.
no, actually, it doesn't matter. It's all about what religion, what set of principles you're supposed to hold, right?
Well, you know
That's the
what they
only.
are. You know what they are as a Noahide. You know what your 7 principles are that you're supposed to stand behind.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not meant for Jews to just say, oh, this Noahide, this Gentile is okay, this Gentile isn't, you know, because okay, I mean, if you're a Jew and Passover's coming up, and you want to sell your hametz to a Gentile, but want it back after Passover, you'd have to make sure that this Gentile was righteous and not going to keep all your hametz. If there's lots of it, if you own a supermarket, if you own a pizza parlor, if you own a granary, you don't want to unwittingly sell your hametz to some Gentile for a song. So,
Yeah, so if they're following the 7 Noahide laws, you can sell it to them.
yeah, but they can say, yeah, I followed the 7 Noahide laws, so sell it to me for $1. Come on, Jew.
Yeah, well,
Would you?
well,
But
but
no.
that's
You
this
see,
is
there is no certification. It's all as long as a piece of string. And I know you're just clinging to it because you think, it makes this Noahide thing real because some rabbi, and we don't even know which rabbi it is.
it is real, Claire. It's a real thing, and there are 500,000 people that call themselves Noahides.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. I get it that it's a step up if the Argentinian prime minister calls himself a Noahide, right? Yes, but who's going to believe it? He's controversial. He's
they're going to believe it, but I mean,
well,
yes,
who believes it? Who would believe
well,
in it?
obviously the people who posted it, the Jews who posted it, believe
Yeah,
it.
because okay, which one? Shmuley?
No, that whatever it's called. Hold on.
Yeah.
That
Yes, yeah, some guy with an anonymous account.
well, the point
I
is
mean,
that
you would be a fool to take it seriously.
no, well, you don't want to take it seriously because you don't want
No,
there
I
to
don't
be.
want. No. The thing is, even if they do take it seriously, Muslims could easily shoot the whole damn thing down.
Well, they're not going to, and they never will. You keep saying the Muslims are going to rise
Okay,
up.
I guess they're a bit disorganized, and they're not going
Okay,
to
well,
use my
when are
argument.
they going to get it together? When 50 presidents of different countries are Noahides, then they're going to be like,
Well, no,
oh, whoa.
we'll just see. Okay, you can't even find any reliable news report of this ceremony.
Well, it just came out. It wasn't a ceremony. He just said it at a convention.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to wait a few days. But he's a politician. People are going to say, that's another lie he's telling us. And who are these Jews who recognize Javier Milei as some kind of Noahide? I mean, it's a joke. But yeah, I mean, actually, I welcome it because then you'll get some discussion in mainstream media about this Noahide business.
I don't think the mainstream media outside of Israel likes talking about it.
Yeah, probably because they're told not to.
Well, why do you think that is?
I don't know. They're told not to talk about a lot of things, right? I mean, I guess if they weren't talking about it, they're just saying it's some stupid fringe movement. But if they see some political potential in it, and it seems that they're going to use it to what's the word, kosherize certain favored individuals. I mean, but who wants to say Milei is a good guy? I mean, because that's what it means, isn't it? Oh, it's those Jews. And who is Milei anyway? He's just a neocon stooge.
Well, yes, but neocons are powerful, and
Yeah,
okay,
and
and
they're
there's
also hated by their fellow Americans because it is about bombing. It is about U.S. foreign policy.
hold on, let me look up. Hold on, give me 1 second because they didn't give me 1 second. I just want to look up something. I want to look up who these people are. Hold on.
I'm going to step away for a minute.
Okay. Okay. Well, when you come back, it was the Jewish Learning Institute. I don't know if you're there, Claire. I don't think the Jewish Learning Institute would just like, it's the Jewish Learning Institute. She'll be back in a second. Of course, Claire is going to poo-poo this like it's nothing. You know, it's a cult that people are converting to, and now it's getting, it got John Voight, and now it has President Milei, Javier Milei. There's something behind it, guys. Something going on here. There's definitely something going on. Claire sent me a song about my finches dying. I don't know. We didn't talk about it here on YouTube, but one of my finches died. Poor little guy. His wife died, and then I couldn't find a replacement for her. I think he died of a broken heart. I think he died of a broken heart, the poor little guy. Where is Shay? Claire?
I'm back.
It was the Jewish Learning Institute that posted it. So it wasn't nobody. It wasn't like, and they run retreats for Jews and stuff like that. So it's not like it was just some random Jewish person.
Okay, so it sounds like I don't know, not very kosher.
Well, I don't know if they're not very kosher. They just said that he announced. What do you mean not very kosher? What's not kosher
Well,
about
it
these
doesn't.
people?
It doesn't sound like the Orthodox.
Jewish Learning Institute. I've heard of ROHR. The ROHR, ROHR. That must be what it is. Jewish Learning Institute. They don't have a search engine on their website, so I can't search Noahide on here. myjli.com. They have courses, but I don't see anything on Noahide. Well, honestly, we'll see. I did say that Jews claimed it. I did write in that Jews are claiming it, so I didn't have like a mainstream article on it. But I don't even know if maybe Chabad would write on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chabad would write on it. It says that he reveals his Jewish heritage, but they didn't actually post on the Noahide thing. They're saying he was talking about his Jewish heritage. Wait, that's J post. Let me just. The point is that if it's true, it is big news. At least for me, it's big news, and that if a major world leader has come out and said he follows the 7 laws of Noah, well, is he Catholic?
God knows. Okay, and look at his Wikipedia. I mean, he's a libertarian.
Okay, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that.
His father is of Italian descent. His mother was a housewife. His father, Norberto, was a bus driver. So his father was of Italian descent. His mother was Croatian descent. They're related to Uruguayan TV presenter. I think he's Milei revealed in April this month, a few days ago, that one of his grandparents found out they were Jewish shortly before their passing. I just think it's a non-story. So really, it doesn't sound like he has any Jewish antecedents, and it's like, yeah, so you just discovered your mum was Jewish, but obviously, if you didn't even know that your mum was Jewish until later, she wasn't bringing you up as a Jew, was she?
No, but he doesn't have to be a Jew. He doesn't have to be a Jew to be a Noahide. In fact, he would become a Noahide because he's not a Jew.
He's a Zionist. He supports Israel. So he's a stooge of the Neocons. So, I mean, if Jews are going to, sell their brand and be the slaves of the Neocons, I mean, I guess they know what's coming then. I think you already know. No. It's not going to work. I mean, if Jews are just going to go around declaring controversial politicians like Javier Milei and Noahide, they're just contaminating their brand even more.
Well, I don't know that. I think that this gives it star power. It gives it a president.
Yeah, I mean, they can use it, but everybody will just piss on it. Because there's a lot of, it's like, you Jews, you think nothing of exterminating, the Gazans, with the collusion, with the support of the American Empire. So we know what, we already know what you're like. It's already well known that half of Jewry are secular Jews. And anybody who knows anything about Judaism and Jews will know that if you're a secular Jew, you break the Sabbath and deserve the death penalty. I mean,
yeah, but that doesn't.
So it's like, yeah, but everybody just ignores all this. So who gives a shit? I mean, yeah, okay, just carry on like this. So if you're going to be a Jew, just do it properly or forget about it. But they're not doing it properly. They think, a few stupid people will think, oh, wow, our president is a Noahide. It means he's a righteous Gentile. We're going to believe it. We're going to trust him when he's a Zionist and obviously, doing the bidding of the American Empire. So, I mean, I guess they've kept it pretty quiet because maybe they're just waiting to see what's going to happen. I mean, I guess the Muslims are not going to notice. They'll just be talking about, well, I don't know what they usually talk about, posting, the horrible suffering of the Gazans, but nobody cares because really, most Westerners just wouldn't give a shit if all Muslims in the world died. I mean, let's just admit that. They don't give a shit, to the extent that Muslims are useful, it is to sort of confront Jews with more examples of their wickedness. But really, nobody cares. If
Well,
all the Jews
let's
died, if
see
all the
what
Muslims died, Westerners wouldn't give a shit.
well, let's see what happens. I don't think Muslims are going to, say anything until it's too late. I don't think that they're clever enough to, understand that. Well, I don't think anyone yet, they're either endorsing these Noahide laws or ignoring them. And, that's just not a really smart strategy. And I think people underestimate the power of this movement. People.
Well, okay, let's say the American government promotes it. I mean, it'll upset the Christians.
How much? Half of them won't care, and then the other half that do care are not really going to be all that uppity about it because they think it's prophecy.
Oh, we don't know. I mean, you talk as if I mean, you already know a lot of Christians really find the Noahide laws threatening, and and
Not enough of them.
But if they're going to promote it, they're opening a can of worms because people will start asking questions.
I think they're
like what does it mean about idolatry? Isn't Christianity idolatry? Who are these rabbis who say it's okay for Christians to practice idolatry? Why don't they convert to Christianity then if they think it's okay? What about these Muslims? Isn't Islam a Noahide religion?
Well, they
Isn't there
haven't
some
started
rule
yet.
that tells Jews that it's okay for Jews to pray with Muslims in mosques, but are told never to enter a church which is a place of abomination where idolatry is practiced? I mean, there are all these questions.
Well, I don't. Yeah, maybe you'll ask those questions, but everyone else is just gonna not ask questions until it's too late. They're just not gonna ask questions until it's too big, and then it's a world religion, and then it's like, well, there's problems between Christians and Muslims too, but do you have a problem with them? Like, there's problems between all different kinds of religions. Are you going to condemn all religions or just the Noahide laws? Like, there's lots.
So condemn the Noahide. No, I thought you said it wasn't a religion. I mean.
No, but they're just going to say that all religions have problems with each other. So, to just point out Noahide and say, oh, Noahide's incompatible, is obviously Islam is incompatible with Western values at a certain degree.
No, I mean, what are Western values?
If you're going to be whipping fornicators, then that's not really a liberal value.
Okay, well, I mean, well, I guess it's okay if Westerners want their liberal values, but I think they're questioning it, which is why we're having such a problem with Trump, who identifies himself as nationalist, which obviously the liberal establishment has interpreted as heresy. I mean, nobody's talking about these things. You can't get Trump to talk about these things or any of his advisors. But I mean, okay, maybe we'll be able to find members of dissident right and ask them what Western values are. Do you think they'll engage? And talking about members of the dissident right, did you manage to watch Adam Green and Arvol?
No, I was going to watch that. I'm going to watch that one. I'm a little bit interested in that one to see. I'll listen to Adam Green, and Arvol seems he doesn't. So far, he's not like some shit poster groiper, that's just gonna spew nonsense.
Yeah, I think, I mean, they both have a point, actually.
You watched
But
it?
I mean, yeah, I did watch it. I'll have to watch it again, I suppose.
Wow.
But I mean, okay. From what I can remember, Adam Green was saying, "Don't use Christianity; it's a Jewish psyop." And Arvol was saying, look what Christianity has done to us, and white Christians have more children than non-Christian whites. It's done something for us. It's helped us over the centuries, and Adam Green acknowledged that. But he said, we don't need Christianity to make us have babies.
Well, how long is it? Let me see.
It's 3 hours, basically.
Oh, it's 3 hours. Oh, I saw. Yeah, now I see it's 3 hours.
All right, we are live. I'm here.
Well, 2 hours, 45 minutes.
And Keith Woods. You've talked to me about Keith Woods before.
Yes. Well, I mean, he just hosted it on his channel. I read all the dumb comments under Keith Woods' tweet. They're really dumb. It's like they have no idea. I mean, the stupidest one was, how dare you question Christianity as a nationalist? But at least, these dumb nationalists sort of realize that they need a religion to, fight all the evil around them.
Yeah, we just gotta. Yeah, well, obviously a religion that thinks that in the end you're going to be losing is not a good religion. That doesn't help you fight. Like all this like, Christ is going to come down and fix this all for us. That's not a religion. But the Muslims have the same problem where you have to wait for the Mahdi, and only when the Mahdi comes will we all be united. And
no, they don't say that. I mean, you just pretend they all say that.
That's what what's his name said. That's what not Abdel, the other guy that came on, the Sufi guy. He was raised in Islam, but he converted to
Sufis are idolaters.
I know. Well, he was raised in Islam.
Just ignore the Sufis. The Sufis, you know what they do? They go round and round and round in circles.
Well, he was complaining about mainstream Islam, and that was his contention, that in mainstream Islam, they all say the only time they're going to unite is when the fucking Mahdi comes, and that's not.
Okay, I mean, let's assume that they're not. Look, the Sunnis, they're not doing anything because they're the running dogs of Uncle Sam. And they're so stupid, they're easily whipped up by America to attack Yemen. So basically, Washington has got them to do that. Washington has got Saudi to buy weapons to attack Yemen. And the Qataris fell in with this. So, I mean, the Sunnis just, they have shit for brains, basically. And, and they're not being particularly Muslim. And basically, the Sunnis all over the world haven't got much power because they operate representative democracy. And if you operate representative democracy, it means the CIA controls your elections. So the only powerful country, Muslim country in the world is Iran, the Republic of Iran. And it's the only country, giving the West any kind of pushback at all.
Well, everyone just seems so weak, and I don't know what to say to people anymore because everyone is so weak, and everyone is so weak in their principles, and nobody can accomplish anything.
Yes,
And
look, it can be accomplished if you acknowledge me to be the Messiah substitute. Because I've come to tell everyone that they're all cursed by God, and the curse will take the form of World War III unless they repent. And Jews have to repent of not ranking the four Gentile religions and still refusing to do so. Christians have to repent of their idolatry and blasphemy, and Muslims have to repent of not obeying chapter 18, verse 4 of the Quran. It's very easy to remember.
Well, let's see if people have those kinds of strong principles, because I don't think they do.
No, I don't think they do. But, all that matters is that you do. So, are you going to support me as the Messiah
Well, you could be the
substitute?
Messiah substitute. Maybe if there's an Abrahamic, why doesn't the Abrahamic God just water it down a little bit more? I mean, he's watered it down already with Islam, so he might as well water it down a little bit more with secular Quranism.
Well, secular Quranism is technically obeying the Quran. I mean, I guess the Muslims will say, "Oh, but she doesn't know anything. She's not even Muslim," and I'll say, "Well, your interpretation hasn't exactly saved Muslim countries from Western imperialism. So maybe you should just shut up." And anyway, if Western governments wanted to adopt secular Quranism, there's nothing these Muslims can do anyway. You've seen how weak and divided they are. They can't do anything. I mean, you can kill all these Muslims in Gaza, and they're not going to do anything because basically the Gulf states just aren't up to having armies. I mean, the Qataris.
I know the fact that all these
80% of people in Qatar are not even Qataris, so they're full of foreigners too.
the point is that all these Muslim countries altogether can't do anything, and it's really sad. It's just like, it makes you lose faith, and it makes you say, well, what kind of religion do they have if they can't even?
No, you have to understand that a lot of people pretend to believe in all kinds of things just to be mainstream. It's not because they really believe in it. They just think, well, I can't not be seen to be subscribing to the idea that Jesus is Lord. And, I don't think Christians or post-Christians can say, oh, it's these Jews, these Muslims, they don't really believe in their religion. Because Christians don't really believe in theirs either. And their problem is they haven't believed in it for ages. So I don't think any particular group can point, their finger at any other group without being accused of something in return. But anyway, you're important because you, hopefully, if you do support me as Messiah substitute, we'll stick to your guns. You're not going to sort of melt away in the sunlight, are you? Should you make this decision?
Claire, the Messiah substitute, but who sent you? God?
Could be. I don't know.
Well, but I mean, if you're a Messiah substitute, I mean, what is this, self-proclaimed?
Yeah. Obviously, it's self-proclaimed, but it doesn't matter if I'm self-proclaimed. Someone has to accept that I am the Messiah substitute. And to accept that I'm the Messiah substitute means that you have to say that the Messiah ain't coming. And this will set in train a chain of events that will lead to the adoption of secular Quranism. So, but you are the first step. You are the first step in a journey of 1,000 miles.
Well, I'll have to put that in the manifesto that's coming up that Claire calls is the Messiah substitute, and she's the Messiah substitute, and she's come to let everyone know the Messiah is not coming, and that they just have to accept secular Quranism as a what is the word that I'm looking for? Preventative of World War III.
Thank you. You understand my position so perfectly. Yes, everybody has to go and tidy up their room. They have to tidy up their own house of their incoherent and contradictory beliefs.
Preventative.
Curative.
Curative. Well,
it would lift the curse of divine wrath. I'm sure, if God exists, he'd be very disappointed with the Jews. It's like, you don't even know what you're for, Jews. You're supposed to be at least talking about the Noahide laws when Gentiles like Claire Core ask you questions about it, but no, you just run away and say, it's complicated. That's what they do. These rabbis. And that's what Christians... Carry on. What were you going to say?
I can't even remember now, but you were going to talk about Christians.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say Christians can't even defend the Trinity, and Muslims can't give me find any historical record of Muslims ever obeying chapter 18, verse 4. So they haven't got a leg to stand on. But obviously, I need your support, and I don't think you're going against any of your principles. I mean, you don't believe in God. You don't think the Messiah is coming. So there should be, no trouble at all in you agreeing that I am the Messiah substitute, come to tell these Jews, Christians, and Muslims that the Messiah ain't coming, and they have to tidy up the room themselves. Tidy up their own
that
rooms
kind of makes
themselves.
it like, well, that would negate, like, that would make it that God is a liar 3-4 times over now, and that, why should we even follow these laws if God is just going to change his mind all the time?
He hasn't changed his mind. I mean, if
he's not sending a Messiah, then he has changed.
But he doesn't have to send one. He's not the maid of all work.
But didn't he say he would? Didn't he say he would send a Messiah?
No, I mean, when he would arrive is open to interpretation.
Yes, but you're saying he's not coming.
Well, he's not coming in my lifetime or yours. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
That's different than saying he's not coming. That's different.
Yeah, okay. He's not coming in our lifetimes. Okay, that's what I meant.
Okay,
I'm not saying he's never coming.
Then you're positing yourself as a prophetess because you're saying, well, I know for certain he's not coming in my lifetime.
Yeah, and I can be easily proven wrong about the Messiah turning up. Well, I mean, do you see the kind of questions it would lead to if only you would just say, well, I have no problem in agreeing that you're a Messiah substitute because, you don't believe in God, you don't think the Messiah is coming ever or within our lifetimes. So it's not like I'm asking you to say something you don't agree with or believe in.
Oh, God.
Vincent, aren't you going to can't you just say that I'm the Messiah substitute? Are you
I really
scared?
think this is all the fault of heterosexuality because this is where, well, this is where we need all the, this is where we get into all the, the sex laws and stuff. Like, obviously, I don't have a problem with no murder, no theft, and stuff like that, but it's the sex, this applies to a heterosexual world because, and it also applies to heterosexuals because, well, if you get pregnant and you don't know who the father is, it's a big headache. Excuse me, it's a big headache. And so you have to have all these rules about who you can sleep with. And I don't know why they couldn't just leave the gay people alone. Why couldn't they have just said, straight people can't have babies out of wedlock, end of story. I mean, if that's your problem, if that's your big problem,
Well,
homosexuals.
you know about the low birth rate, so I guess they'll think anybody who's a non-parent is to blame, and then they'll look at these non-parents, and quite a lot of them will be gay.
Yeah, but there's not that. It's not like
But if there
everyone.
were enough people already, they wouldn't be blaming you.
No, there wouldn't be, but that's not our fault. It's not like, there were gay people all throughout history when, that didn't have children. It's just the heterosexuals just had lots of kids. They had 5, 6, 7 kids. And so
Yeah,
it didn't.
so they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you should be lending your voice to say to heterosexual people, saying you need to have more babies, but within wedlock.
But that's the thing about being a liberal person. You're not into telling people to do things they don't want to do.
Okay,
People,
they don't have to do it, but surely you can agree with the principle that married parents should be privileged over non-parents because they're doing the job of rearing the next generation.
well, I don't think they should be privileged. I think that they should, have. I think everyone should have what they need, and I don't think anything should be taken away from married parents that stops them from rearing the next generation. I don't think gay people should be privileged above, you're the one who's going to privilege gay men by allowing them to sleep with whoever and, could have all the sex they want and nothing will happen to them. And then straight people, if they get pregnant, then that's it. They get the whip.
Yeah, so the thing is, gay people can hide their sexual activity better than straight people. You can't exactly hide a baby once it's born, can you?
No, that's the point, and that's, the sad reality of heterosexuality that will never go away. And basically why I'm saying that gay men need to fucking invent these artificial wombs and, just outcompete the system. It's a horrible system that, and the war of the sexes and, like gay men just don't go online and like bitch about each other in the same way that men and women bitch about each other. There's not that like that fucked up, like top straight men don't go up on and be like fucking bottoms, they're fucking this, they're fucking shit. All they do is fucking this, it's like we don't do that to each other. People are like, oh, but you're catty. Like, it's nowhere near as bad. It's not like, it's not like this fundamental problem difference between people in the community that makes us absolutely hate one another. And, nothing is going, look, there's a marriage strike or whatever. Men and women are not having babies with each other, but gay men are having all the sex they want. I can tell you right now. I don't think there's a sex starvation problem in the gay community. I don't think that that's happening.
Okay, but the point is babies, right? Next generation, posterity, the continuation of the existence of the people of your country.
I know, but yeah, and that, but it's just this like what breed to breed, like, people are gonna stop and question like, why the fuck am I doing this? You know, eventually people are, eventually when it gets to the point when it's not accidental
Okay. Let's role play this thing. Why the fuck am I doing this? So you don't care about the continuation of your race?
well, maybe they stop caring once they see how ugly and disgusting humans are, and then maybe they stop caring.
But you do.
Yes, I know, but it's getting harder and harder and harder and harder. Like, you know, it is getting
Harder to
very
do what?
to
Harder
bring
to
a
have.
to bring a child into this world. I
Okay, but that's because of the laws.
know, but it's
And I'm
also
proposing a change in the law to support marriage and family values, and you don't have to do it, because you're gay, but you can just agree.
yeah,
You can
but people
support
might
the
just
principle that children should be, reared by their married biological parents.
people might just get to the point where they say life is not that great, and I just don't feel
Okay,
like
let them
grant.
say it, and then we'll deal with them. But if you can't even say that, what kind of a person are you? That you can't even agree on the principle that children should be reared by their married parents. Why can't people even say that? I mean, it's not like, oh, we're going to grab you and make you, force you into a marriage.
Well,
Because
because
there
I
would
think
be no point, because if you force people into marriage, they'll do it unwillingly and they'll do it badly. But there will be people who want to marry, and they should be given the support, shouldn't they?
they do have the support. They have everything they need. They can go, but it's the economy. It's a lot of things that
Yeah. It's all linked, isn't it? The economy is not booming because of government policy.
I
The,
don't
the
want to go back.
government doesn't reward um, free competition. It only rewards the corporate America with their chain stores. It doesn't um, reward what do you call it? The pop and mom shop. What they call?
Mom and pop stores,
Yeah, that's right.
mom and pop stores. Yeah, like it's whatever. I don't have the solution for straight people, and
I
I think
do. Why
yeah,
can't you just support me? Why can't you just okay?
because I don't want to because I don't have the heart to whip unmarried parents. That's why.
Well, it's not going to happen. It might not even happen in your lifetime.
I know, but that doesn't matter. I don't. I still don't. The Noahide laws might not happen in my lifetime, but I still care about them. Like, just because something's not going to happen in my lifetime doesn't mean I don't care about it.
Okay. Do you see that? Uh, do you know that self-defense is a complete defense to murder?
What does that have to do with it?
It means that if something is necessary, it is moral if it's necessary.
If it's necessary.
So if you think somebody is coming to kill you and is in the same room about to shoot you, and you have the option of shooting him before he shoots you, then you would have a complete defense to murder because you can say it's self-defense.
Well, I think it's a very sad. I think it's a very sad fact of nature. The heterosexual makeup that I don't want to think that heterosexuals need to be whipped into line. You know what I mean? Like, and how many of these whippings would be going on? I wonder. Like,
There'll probably be quite a lot in the beginning, and it'll just taper off as the penny drops with most people that they're not supposed to do it. You have to give it a chance. I mean,
well, that's
I
very
thought
sad.
you
That's
were
very sad that the only way to get people heterosexuals in line is through the whip, and I think that's a very sad reality or sad. I think that's very sad that the only way to get heterosexuals to properly I don't want to say
punishment is the only way to discourage certain kinds of behavior. I mean, I don't know why this is such a surprise to you. I mean, that's why we have the law, to stop you from parking in certain places at certain times or whatever. It's saying don't park, here because you're going to get a ticket or something.
yes, but that's a little bit different than sexual activity.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, what's the point of law anyway, except to regulate our behavior and saying this is allowed, this isn't. We'd like you to do lots of this thing, and we don't want you to do any of that thing.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I wish I didn't care about these things and I was just a gay man and I only cared about my career and sex, and that was it. That would have been a lot easier, to be honest with you.
Well, then you wouldn't be you, and you're negating your entire existence. And obviously, if God exists, He put you on earth for a purpose, and it is up to you to discover that purpose. And
my purpose would have been a lot better. Okay, I do wonder, if I inherited $1 billion yesterday, would I just disappear into a world of drugs and sex? Maybe. I'd have to think about it. I would have to think about that. I might not totally disappear. No, I might still do some of my shit. You know what I mean? But
well, it would be a waste if you destroyed yourself with drink and drugs and gay orgies all over the place.
Well, I could do it. I could do drugs in moderation and gay orgies not in moderation.
Well, then you catch something and it might kill you.
Well, I could if I had $1 billion, I could get a harem of STD-free men and just keep them in my apartment and not let them out and just use them as dildos or whatever I'm going to use them as.
Well, you could be doing something useful.
I don't want to do anything fucking useful for the human race, to be honest with you.
Well, you seem to be contradicting yourself, all the time.
Well, I'm not. Well, no, it's not contradiction.
I thought you wanted to be validated and recognized for not being just any gay boy.
Well, there's no validation or recognition coming my way for what I want validation.
You have to do the right thing. You have to acknowledge me as.
People get recognized for doing the wrong thing all the time. I don't think I'm going to be rewarded for doing a certain thing. People are punished for doing the right thing. People are rewarded for doing the wrong thing. There's tons of rewarded celebrities out there.
You want to change that, don't you? You want, well, good to be rewarded and evil punished, don't you?
Yes, but what is good and what is evil, and what
God commands is good, and what He forbids is evil. It's so easy. Why are we even having this conversation? Only God.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Say what is good or
I don't know that God sent the Quran. I don't know that He sent the Quran. Claire, I don't understand why somebody couldn't have just come up with a good idea and said, we just can't have children out of wedlock, so let's whip unmarried parents.
Because then they would say you're only mortal, and when you're dead, we're going to do things a different way. You may not even be dead when you fall out of power, and we get to have our free love again. I mean, why do you think?
Well, okay, but I don't necessarily believe the God part of it. I mean, I can believe somebody. Okay, look, I don't necessarily think that we needed an organized religion in order to ban murder. I don't necessarily believe that we needed that,
people can agree with usually the 5 Noahide laws that are to do with idolatry and blasphemy. Because, on the principle of reciprocity, if I don't murder you, then you don't murder me. If I don't steal from you, you don't steal from me. But sexual morality, that's going to be difficult and different because people think they can get away with it. It's like, the Sex Act is completed in minutes. So people will think, well, whose business is it of anyone who I have sex with? you know. So that's why marriage is eugenic, because what we want to give us certainty in whatever we do is the certainty, the strength of our beliefs. So if a man, a married father, suddenly is told that none of his children are his, well, he might stop supporting them, right? Or beat his wife up, or even kill her.
Yes, these are all unfortunate.
Yes,
These are all unfortunate realities.
but it's been known to happen. So
The thing is that I'm trying to promote something unnatural, right? I'm trying to promote an unnatural way of living, because I will admit that the natural way is just really harsh and really cruel and makes people unhappy and needs to be enforced. And, it's just, I'm just saying, well, just forge a new way, not do what nature didn't intend, what nature never intended.
well, the natural way is just to give in to our inclination. So if I'm angry with you, then I could kill you. And if I see something I want of yours, I can just take it. I mean, that's natural, but we don't want that sort of, nature, do we? We want to live in an advanced society, and this means being civilized. And laws mean civilization. And if we're going to have laws, why don't we base them on a moral system that is the best available one? And how are we going to choose out of all the available, ideologies? Obviously it would be rational to choose them on the basis of how long they've been around. If somebody just invented a moral system yesterday, you'd look at it a bit skeptically, wouldn't you? But if it's been around for...
Not necessarily, no. I don't look at old as better and new as bad. I don't view it that way. I mean, your only problem with Mormonism is that it may be, I guess
it's idolatry.
Well, no, besides that, I mean, the problem with Mormonism, I guess, is that it doesn't set up a government technically, right? But if it
and it's already failed, because the prime, well, the most important idea of Mormonism is its polygamy, but they've conceded that principle.
Well, but if they had set up a legal system, I mean, I don't see what the problem would have been with it if they set up a legal system and they followed it, just because it's new. If they have a legal system that outlaws murder and theft and animal abuse.
Mm-hmm.
If they had,
secular quranism would accommodate Mormons up to 4 wives.
Yes, but
so there's something in secular quranism.
I'm saying just because something is new.
Secular quranism with Mormon characteristics, I'm going to make that new thing.
Okay, well, if somebody started a religion tomorrow that had a legal system that was good, I would follow it. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's new, and so I'm not listening. I'd be like, okay, well, this is a good legal system. I mean, obviously, the problem is when you don't have a legal system.
Yeah, and you want your legal system to be stable. You can't keep having your ruling classes changing it as and when it suits them. You can't have them making up the rules as they go along. Look, Vincent, I think you already understand all my arguments. We've known each other for years. You're just hesitating because you assume failure. You assume failure because you don't believe in God. But I know you want to believe in God, because then everything would be just tidy in your mind. And I don't think you even have to worry about being gay, because, it's like, well, we're all sinners, and, you're trying to address whatever issue, that, the other things that are more important to, your fellow Americans. And, and in the current culture and climate, nobody's going to jump up and down about you being gay, but they will Yes, they will treat you as a curiosity and ask you questions, and the Muslims will, I think, be, I think they would be positive towards you. Because okay, the whole idea about secular Quranism, it's the anti-room towards Islam. That's what I'm going to say to them. I'm going to say to them, you can't expect these people to just convert to Islam instantly. You've got to give them, a sort of intermediate stage. And they sort of know it, and they're scared. They don't want to be seen to be supporting secular Quranism because they don't want Homeland Security knocking on their door. So you have to take into account that, a lot of these Muslims are frightened. Even the successful ones who don't want, their success to be lost because they said the wrong thing. And a lot of people are cancelled for saying the wrong thing. But since you're so principled and you can see the point of them, I'm not saying, you're going to be cursed if you apostatize or anything like that. It's like, well, you try for a few days and see how things are and
I'm
whether
not
people treat you
converting for a few
differently.
days. I'm not converting for a few days to something. If I'm going to become something, I'm going to become it because I truly believe in it, and
Okay, well, if you're going to convert to it forever, thank you. Well, but it's not a conversion; it's a legal system, so it wouldn't be right to, talk about converting because then it becomes a religion. But you can say you support it, and then I'm just saying you can support it, and then later, if you for whatever reason you can choose not to support it, and nothing bad will happen to you. But if you converted to Islam and apostatize, then God will come and get you in the afterlife. But I mean, there's nothing similar in what I propose. So I mean, obviously, we're going to see if you get treated differently by other people. Whether they're going to fawn over themselves and invite you to be on their show so they can ask you all kinds of questions, or whether they're going to just ignore you. I think they'll probably ignore you for a bit anyway.
well, I'm going to write your manifesto and see what people say about it. So,
Okay,
which I don't know why you are not doing it. That's like
because
I
you're
feel like
doing it. I've done so many versions of it. I'm sick of it.
well, you have to make like a document, like an actual here's the
I mean,
manifesto.
you haven't even read it.
Here's the manifesto of the Secular Quranist Party of America.
Okay, I mean, I wrote the book and you haven't read it. So
Okay,
it's like, oh, what's the point then? But if
well,
people want, if people want to say, what would be the most noticeable changes if America were to adopt secular Quranism? I would have to say unmarried parents would have to be left 100 times per illegitimate offspring. I would have to say you can usury would be banned, and you can default on your debts as um, a nation and as individuals if you've already paid back the principal of what you borrowed under your usurious loan. You'd have to be a one-party state, and 20% flat rate income tax, the abolition of no-fault divorce. That's all I can think of at the moment. I mean, the First Amendment would be, definitely supported because I take it very seriously indeed. My chapter 2, verse 256. What other annoying thing? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for gay people, but chapter 4, verse 15 and 16, would just say, well, if you, are caught cottaging, that there will be
no, but you would do more than
punishment.
cottaging. It would be more than just cottaging. It would also be open displays of homosexuality, like, rainbow flags outside of bars and gay parades and things like that. And also just simply, I mean, or and not being able to put in your domestic partnership a clause which would prevent you from sleeping around. You know what I mean? Like, there's more than just no cottaging, because we already have no cottaging
So it's
laws.
not a big deal. I mean, it's for public decency, which I assume you still have public decency laws.
Yeah, public decency laws, but
So
nobody.
it's not like, ooh, shock, horror, we're all going to be thrown off tall buildings or stoned to death. I mean, it's very mild. Come on. I mean, do you feel like you're betraying gay people?
But there's more. I know, but I just mentioned the other things besides cottaging that secular quranism would outlaw. So
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody will have to suffer a lowering of status because you can't be equal. Unmarried parents cannot be equal to married parents, and non-parents cannot be equal to either. Because it is this status thing that needs to be adjusted to encourage the right kind of people to do the thing that needs to be done. And really, we were talking about, or you were accusing me of being obsessed by status, but it is really hierarchy, isn't it? It's like, well, in such a society, you would get married fathers voting for their alpha male leader, and this alpha male leader, which has always happened anyway. It's not some new thing. I mean, I think Americans did have one bachelor president, and he was terrible. So basically, the whole idea under the system of patriarchy is that married fathers would have to choose for themselves an alpha male leader, and they would be choosing this alpha male leader on the basis of his grown-up children who will be a credit to him, and that will make them think, well, we think he's all right. His wife is still married to him, and his children are, well, a credit to him. They're not delinquents, they're not criminals, etc. And that's one of the ways that you can, judge whether this presidential candidate is a good one or not. I mean, obviously, the Hunter Biden scandals will, it's obviously the lesson to be learned from not caring about these things.
Well, okay, I don't.
You dropped out?
Oh.
I didn't hear what you said. Yeah, you kind of dropped out. Can you repeat what you just said, because I didn't hear it?
Well, yeah, but I think things can't be taken too far. I think a good man can have a drug-addicted son. I think that's possible. So I don't know how many children Joe Biden has. How many does he have?
I think two. I think Hunter's brother died or something.
Yeah, Beau Biden died. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, Claire. These things, see,
These are just the rules of thumb. But do you understand how this was how patriarchy worked? That there were all these, all these presidential candidates are going to tell you all kinds of lies and but you can look to the background of this man to see if they might be even okay. And it's like, well, has he got a wife? Did some women think he was okay to marry? And if so, is he still married to her? And if so, did they have children? And if so, how have the children? These are very simple ways of working out if somebody is, morally respectable. I mean, the very practical reasons. Imagine, you get your society, just gay men. How are you going? Who's going to be the alpha male?
Well, it would
the non-alpha males will definitely be gay men with no partners, right?
No, they might have partners, and hopefully they would be able to reproduce either through artificial wombs or through surrogacy. But I mean, there would be leaders. Yeah, there would be leaders.
Okay, but I mean, we have to kind of, imagine this. But you see, people will just think that the leader will be the one. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how a gay man might choose a gay man. I mean, what, the sexiest gay man? The most beautiful gay man?
Oh,
The
come on,
richest
we're not
gay
that
man?
shallow.
Okay,
There's
you don't know. You don't know. You
Well, are
can't
you
even
saying
speak for gay
that
men because
heterosexual?
you don't know that many of them, or you told me that you don't really have that much in common with these other gay men.
No, not much. But I mean, I would think that once things changed, and especially when the new technology comes in, and if they adopt this way of thinking, then things would have to change. Things would change. I mean, I think that there's a certain type of thinking. Look, women used to behave in a certain way before feminism came in, and there was just assumptions about how women would behave, and what they were incapable of. And then when feminism came in, women changed and their nature changed, or maybe their nature didn't change, but it woke something up in them that wasn't there before, and they acted differently. So I'm saying, if this system that I'm promoting comes in, then gay men might start acting differently.
Well, yes, I mean, the laws will change our behavior. What is allowed and forbidden is obviously going to change our behavior because we are creatures who work on the basis of pleasure and pain. We seek pleasure, we avoid pain. So the law is all important in regulating our behavior. And really, the just two forms of law. I just want to make things really simple for people. It's either patriarchy or matriarchy. And patriarchy means using the mechanism that is marriage to regulate gender relations and allow men to choose a leader, the best possible leader for their country. That was how most civilized societies would operate,
Well, I don't
I
know if they were
believe.
civilized, and I don't know if people were happy, and I don't know if they were lasting, and I don't know if it was. I don't. Maybe I'm trying to build something that's everlasting and won't collapse from social
They
pressure.
all need to be maintained. All systems need to be maintained. And I'm saying,
Oh God,
have you been smoking too much or something?
a little bad,
Hmm.
a little
So,
bit.
are you walking somewhere? I can tell you're
No,
walking.
no, I'm not. I'm at home, but I do have to go because I have to go to the doctor.
Oh
So,
dear.
yeah, we've been talking for over an hour now, so that's pretty good. Maybe we can talk when I come back on Spaces.
Alrighty.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
bye.